Right, folks, so I'm attempting something today that I have never actually brought myself to make. Everybody is making these little fairy gardens. They are trying all sorts of things. They're adding in little bits that they've made, like little chairs and stuff. And it's great for the kids. It's great for the whole family, especially if you've got a small garden where you want a lot of stuff. Holiday projects, number one. Boredom, sorted out. So let's get to it and let's see how my creation works. What we've got to get things going is a beautiful, beautiful, wide-rimmed glazed pot. And for this type of garden, you want a low pot. It must be low and very, very wide at the top. We've got a whole lot of succulents that we've literally broken some off. Some were in pots. So you walk around the garden, take a tray, take a basket, pop out bits as you want, and create your ensemble. We've got some pebbles, so little bags, kind of all sorts of smarty box going on there, and then a very, very fine sand. And this is reptile sand. You'll find that in the pet shop section by the reptiles. Okay, that's why I just keep the sand. And then in here is our potting soil mixture, which is 50% potting soil and 50% silica sand. Got a few bigger pebbles here. I've got some crocks, a funnel, very important, and I'll show you why we're going to need that later, and a few of my little tools and gizmos and gadgets, and then 2 pots, and 2 because I haven't made up my mind which one I really want to use. So we're just going to see how it's going to go along. All right, first step, guys, let's get going. I've got my pot. Obviously, there are holes in the pot, and we want to ensure that there's good drainage. So what I'm going to do is I've got my crocks, which are broken up terracotta pots, and I'm just going to pop over there, and one over there. In goes our beautiful mixture. All right, push it through, right into the edge there. Okay, now we need to go with the pot selection. I've got this one, or I've got this one. This one. Okay, now the trick here is that I'm going to be bearing this pot halfway in. Get them in, give them a bit of a tilt. All right, add a bit of an angle, and then we feed some of the soil and a bit extra inside here. Right, okay, pot is in place. Next, what I want to do is I'm going to start with the larger gravel bits that I want, because everything is going to work on either side of that. That's the idea. So I'm going to be using this over here, which is our marine gravel. I'm going to take and I'm going to work over here. So I want it to really look like a riverbed, where a perennial riverbed, like in the Berg, in the mountains, where the water's been rushing through years and years and years on. So it's got to give that look, okay? Alrighty, so you can see, there we go. It's got that little curve going in there. Now I want a main plant in here. We could always go with one of these beautiful little echeverias here, but I'm thinking that we use a combination. We use some of these beautiful sempervivums. I need this little guy, and what we're going to do is we're just going to start putting them in there. And I want them to be at a bit of an angle here. And what I want, the effect that I'm looking for, is that these little babies are just stuck inside there, and then I want them to be in here and then just starting to tumble out like there's been a little mini landslide. So pop them in, and that's why this works so nicely, because you can just feed the roots into there. And then in this little guy can go here, in between there. Alrighty, okay. So now we've got that. I'm happy with that. Don't add any more. You're going to be messing with it. So I've got a beautiful selection here of succulents. This is most interesting. It's called Ripsalis. This one is just about to come into flower. Can you believe it? It's actually got a beautiful flower. And you can take this as it is. You can see I've broken off pieces here, and you simply just pop it in. And there, I've got a tree. Love it. Okay, here I've got some little grey Senecio, and I'm going to pop them over here. Look at the colour against there. See that? Quite spectacular. symmetry of the Echeveria, you cannot go wrong. And then these are little Paciveria, can go in there. And then here I have a Haworthia. Now Haworthia is indigenous. They are used in a lot of local tribes to plant around their homes to protect them from spirits, from the bad spirits. This one has got these distinct lines and is a form of Zebrianus, obviously understanding where the name comes from, zebra. And he can be probably over here. It's time to add in a bit of these larger stones just to get a bit of interest going on here. There we go. Maybe one or two there and there, and then I'm going to carry on adding in my little nunus. Alrighty, plants are in. I have got more, but I'm holding back. This is where we need the funnel. And you're probably thinking, Tanya, what on earth are you going to be doing with this funnel? This is what we use it for, because it is going to become your best friend when you are making gardens like this, or even when you are just potting up succulents. Now what you do is you take some of your soil, your sand, take some of your sand, pop it in here, and then all I do is I keep my finger on there. Wherever I want it to go, I then open up, and if it's very fine like this, you might need to give it a jiggle, and then out it starts coming. Okay, there we go. Okay, right, enough there. Now what we want to do is just get it smoothed off a bit. You can just brush it off, and on the rocks too. So the little guys are in. Remember, they were just bits that were taken out of the garden, broken off, pulled out of pots. But you know what? At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. As long as you get a bit of inspiration from this and get out there and make your own, because that's what it's all about. Love it or hate it, there's something in it for you. So go on and do it.